Good day everyone! Our topic for today is all about measures of dispersion or variation for the ungrouped data. But before we proceed, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and don't forget to click the notification button for more updates. Now let's proceed to our lesson. The measure of variability has these three types or three kinds. We have the standard deviation, which measures the dispersion around the mean, the variance, the square of the standard deviation. Range is the difference between maximum and minimum. Also, we have this what we call the average deviation and the quartile deviation that we will be gonna tackle throughout this PowerPoint presentation. Now, let's start our discussion with the range for the ungrouped data. The range is the difference between the highest value or HV and the lowest value LV in the given distribution. It has a formula range equals HV minus LV. So for example, we have scores of 5 students in spelling. So we have these scores 11, 8, 12, 9, and 10. What is the highest score? The answer is 12. What's the lowest? 8. So to find the range, just subtract the highest score and the lowest score and you will get 4. Therefore, the range of the scores of 5 students in spelling is 4. Another, number of items sold. So the number of items sold per day at a retail store. So these are the number of items sold, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. The range is 23 minus 19. 19 is the lowest and 23 is the highest. Therefore, the range is equal to 4. It means that the range of the number of items sold in a grocery store is equal to 4. Next, the average deviation for ungrouped data. When we are talking about the average deviation is a measure of variation that takes into consideration the deviation of the individual scores from the mean. Or in short, it is the average. It has a formula, AD, which is the average deviation equals summation of the absolute value of x minus mean over n, where AD is the average deviation, summation of the absolute value of x minus mean is the sum of the absolute value of x minus the mean, and n is the sample size. To understand it better, let's have this example. Previously, we have the scores of 5 students in spelling, 11, 8, 12, 3, and 10. The summation of x, or simply the total of x, is equal to 30. Now, how to solve for the mean? To solve for the mean, we have this formula, summation of x divide n. So, yung total, which is 30, will be divided to the total number of items. How many items do we have? 5 items. What are those items? 11, 8, 12, 9, and 10. So, we have 30, the total, divide the number of items, and the answer is 6. And that is our mean. You will put 6 in all the numbers. So, we have 6, 6, 6, 6, and 6. So, ilalagay mo lang dyan yung 6. Now, for the next part, we have the absolute value of x minus mean or just simply x minus mean. Okay? Wag muna natin isipin yung absolute value. X minus mean. Meaning to say, we have 11 minus 6, the answer is 5. 8 minus 6, the answer is 2. 12 minus 6, the answer is 6. 9 minus 6, the answer is 3. And 10 minus 6 is 4. Now, get the total and the answer is 20. That is the summation of this value or variable. Okay, so we have summation, the absolute value of x minus the mean, which is equal to 20. Now, to solve for the average deviation, we have the formula, summation of the absolute value of x minus mean over n. And we have 20 divided 5, and the answer is 4. The average deviation of the scores of the 5 students in spelling is equal to 4. Another example, these are the number of sales given in example 2 of the range. So we have the items 23, 3, 16, 4, and 9. And the summation or the total of the items is equal to 55. To get the mean, we have mean equals summation of x divide n. 55 divide 5. 5 is the total number of items. 55 is the or the sum of all the items. And the quotient of 55 divided 5 is 11. So that is our mean. Put 11 in all the items. So we have we have the x minus mean, and then that is 23 minus 11, that is 12. 3 minus 11 is negative 8. 16 minus 11 is 5. And then negative 7, negative 2. Again, these are absolute value, meaning to say they are all positive. Okay, so we have 12 plus 8 is 20 plus 5, 25 plus 7, 32 plus 2, 34. So a total of 34 for the absolute value of x minus mean. And then we will use our formula for the average deviation and substitute the given to the formula. So we have 34 divide 5, which is the number of n. Then the answer is 6.8. Therefore, the average deviation of the number of sales in the store is equal to 6.8 given the values of 23, 3, 16, 4, and 9. Next, we have the sample variance for ungrouped data. Variance has a formula s squared equals summation of x minus mean squared over n minus 1, where s squared is the sample variance, summation of x minus mean squared is the sum of the squares of the x minus the mean, and n is the number of samples. So let's have the scores of the 5 students. Previously, ito yung nakuha nating mean, and then we will just put the mean on all the items. Then we will get the x minus mean absolute value. Then we have 5, 2, 6, 3, and 4 for the difference of the 5 items. And the total of the x minus mean absolute value is 20. Now let's have the next one. We have x minus mean squared, meaning to say you're going to square your answer here. So that is 5 times 5 is 25. 2 times 2 is 4. 6 times 6 is 36. 3 times 3 is 9. And 4 times 4 is 16. Next, get the total. And you will get the summation of x minus mean squared equals 90. We can now proceed to our given formula for the variance. N minus 1, how many n do we have? That is 5. Therefore, 5 minus 1 is 4. So we have 90, which is the value of the summation of x minus mean squared divide 4. And the answer is 22.50. Therefore, the variance of the scores of 5 students in spelling is 22.50. Now, another example, number of sales. Again, in the number of sales given before, we have a total of 55. So 55 divide 5, which is the number of items, 23, 3, 16, 4, and 9. The answer is 11. And that's our mean. Put 11 in all the items. So we have 11, 11, 11, 11, and 11. Next, we have summation. We have x minus mean, which is the with the absolute value. So we have absolute value of x minus mean. And then 23 minus 11 is 12. 3 minus 11, negative 8. 16 minus 11, 5. 4 minus 11, negative 7. 9 minus 11, negative 2. Remember, these are absolute values, so you can add all of them without subtraction. So we have, the answer is 34. Now, get the x minus mean squared, which means you will square all the numbers here. So 12 times 12 is 144. 8 times 8 is 64. 5 times 5, 25. 7 times 7, 49. 2 times 2, 4. Then get the total, and that is the summation of x minus min squared, and that is equal to 286. Again, we have a total items of 5. That is 5 minus 1 as given in the formula of the variance, and that is equal to 4. Therefore, 286 divide 4, and the answer is 71.50. Therefore, the variance of the number of sales in a retail store is equal to 71.50. Next, the sample standard deviation for ungrouped data. For this one, we will use the scores that we got in the variance. Why? Because the formula for this is just square rooting the result of the variance, or S equals the square root of S squared, where S squared is the sample variance, SD or S standard deviation. So we have here our given sample a while ago, wherein we have scores of 5 students in spelling, and the variance is equal to 22.50. Alright, now how can we get now the standard deviation? To get the standard deviation, just squared both sides. Okay, so what is the square root of S? And that is equal to S. Alisin mo yung 2. And then the square root of 22.50, and that is equal to S equals 4.74. Therefore, the standard deviation of the scores of 5 students in spelling is equal to 4.74. Another example that we've done in the variance is the number of sales, wherein we got a variance of 71.50. Now, in here, to get the standard deviation, again, just have the square root of both sides. Alright? So the square root of S squared is equal to S, and the square root of 71.50 is equal to 8.46. Therefore, the standard deviation of the number of sales in a store is equal to 8.46. And lastly, we have this what we call the quartile deviation for ungrouped data. The quartile deviation for the ungrouped data, we have the formula Q equals Q sub 3 minus Q sub 1 over 2. So therefore, we need to get first the Q sub 3 and Q sub 1 before we answer the quartile deviation, where Q is the quartile deviation, Q sub 3 is for quartile sub 3, and Q sub 1 is quartile sub 1, and 2 is constant. It doesn't change. Therefore, let's have an example. We have a sample of I think these are 6 students. No, these are not 5 students. These are 6 students with the following scores. Alright, so we have the average data in an array form from lowest to highest. So, kailangan i-arrange natin sila. So, we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, yun ang first step to get the quartile 1 and quartile 3. So, after arranging them, to get the quartile 1, we have n divide 4. It is automatic. Okay, it is the formula actually of quartile 1, n divide 4. So we have n. How many numbers or items do we have? So we have 6 students, therefore we have a 6 scores here. Okay, so we have 6 divide 4, and the answer is 1.5. So here, okay, 7 and 8, okay, 1.5 is equal to 7.5. For the next one, we have scores again of 6 students. And we have quartile 3 equals 3n divide 4. So we have 3 times 6 is 18 divide 4. So we have 4.5. So using the same range of scores, we have 4.5. We will count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4.5, yung nasa gitna, no? So that is 10.5. So quartile 3 is equal to 10.5. This is just the same with quartile 1. Okay? So in quartile 1, we have 1.5. So we have 1 and then 1.5. So 7.5 is the answer. In here, we have 4.5, so we will count 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 0.5, which is the half of 10 and 11, and that is 10.5. Now we have the formula Q3 minus Q1 over 2. We have 10.5 minus 7.5 over 2, and Q is equal to 1.5. Okay, because 10.5 minus 7.5, I think that is equal to 3. Divide 2, the answer is 1.5. Okay, so meaning to say, that using the scores of the 6 students, in spelling, using this score of the 6 students in spelling, the quartile deviation is equivalent to 1.5. All right, so that's all about for the measures of dispersion or variation. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to click the notification buttons for more updates. Bye.